first time that I'd watched the first Dune movie on a plane ride coming back from an international trip, the series stuck with me, and after rewatching multiple times, I realized that I was being fed a story from the wrong perspective on purpose. What had initially hooked me to the encapsulating narrative was what all of its viewers saw: spectacle, powerful speeches, destiny, and the righteousness of the good guy. But then I decided to look deeper. Look at what the story was actually trying to convey, and I wasn't disappointed. Warning, spoilers ahead. Click off now if you haven't seen the Dune movies. From the moment Paul is introduced to Arrakis, he is treated as the prophet, and his transformation into said prophet happens in two acts. 1. Suppression, and 2. Acceptance. During the first act of the film, from the moment Paul is introduced, his prophecy and his role as the are set in motion. The Imperium's Reverend Mother tests him and ultimately succeeds. The purpose of the test had stuck out to me as just seeing if Paul will ultimately be worthy of being the one, should the time arise, but the test actually had a different purpose. This line,
"An animal caught in a trap will gnaw off its own leg to escape. What will you do?"
is the evidence that this is truly a test of human legitimacy, a test to see if Paul's mental ability as the one can override his natural animalistic instincts to pull away. The same test is given to a second prospect, Fade Rotha Harkonnen, who ultimately succeeds due to his psychotic pleasure in pain in the movie sequel. Paul sees visions, and a dramatic, moody stringed song with a chanting woman plays as his head rises, which is a clear indication of a triumph or a feat in this connotation, showing that Paul has done something extraordinary. Cut to the Reverend Mother and Jessica Atreides having a conversation, one that reveals a very crucial detail about Paul. He was meant to be a female, and was made male due to Jessica's arrogance that she could produce the one. According to the Reverend Mother, then, Paul and the Atreides travel to Arrakis, where Leto Atreides, Paul's father, is adamant on convincing and collaborating with Arrakis inhabitants, the Fremen. He sends one of his elite swordmasters, Duncan Idaho, to befriend and find the Fremen. Duncan Idaho is about to leave before Paul attempts to go with him, but Duncan decides to decline Paul's offer and instead is taken with his father and one Dr. Liet Kynes to a spice harvester where, when Paul fashions the stillsuit in a slip fashion around the ankles, she says, "He shall know the Fremen's ways as a born into them," showing his Messiah status even further, implying to the audience slyly that Paul may actually be the Lisan al-Gaib. This, Paul goes with them in a dragonfly-like ornithopter, where they fly to a spice harvester, which gets attacked. Paul and his father help the people in this harvester into 3 ornithopters, to which he has a hallucinogenic reaction to the spice, where he sees visions of himself alluding to being the After this, that night, they're attacked by the Harkonnen, orchestrated by the Galactic Emperor to end the Atreides, under the condition that Paul and Jessica escape, since they're under Bene Gesserit protection. Paul and Jessica are captured by and taunted to be killed by a group of Harkonnen, to which Paul uses the voice on and subsequently escapes, ending with the ornithopter being remotely deactivated. Why is any of that necessary? Well, because now we are getting dangerously close to the realm of where he actually begins his journey to tyranny and galactic jihad. During this time, Paul has also been having a plethora of visions, some including a Fremen man named Jamis, who was shown to be guiding Paul through the desert. But when Jessica and Paul finally come across the Fremen, Jamis acts completely differently. He evidently kills, and a dramatic in the background, signifying this as another extraordinary event. This is where Paul's suppression and escapism are most evident. He enters the Fremen with the intention to fully use the Bene Gesserit propaganda to his advantage, but as he gets immersed with the Fremen's culture more and more, and his line, "Father, I found my way," shows his started detachment from his destiny. His suppression of the described inevitable Act 2, or acceptance, happens when he drinks the water of life, which kills and rebirths him into the where a male can see the past and the future at the same time, and this is where he accepts his destiny. Villeneuve's emotional manipulation of the audience can be described in 3 ways. There's obviously more, but for this essay, emotional sympathy, inescapable destiny, and surroundings of the worst. Emotional sympathy. Paul Atreides' environment is obviously thrust upon him, a young adult, where he must walk through his chaotic life, which changes constantly, and he's been prophesized into a destiny that he does not want, which the audience can universally sympathize with. Inescapable destiny. Paul views his destiny as the way forward and believes that accepting it is the true destiny that he's been destined for, which the audience can virtually understand and comprehend as the right choice. Surroundings of the worst. Paul is surrounded by psychopaths, a corrupt government, and greedy, slimy, ruthless, pale people. This makes Paul seem like the best option for the future, so the audience will more often than not support and stay enthusiastic about Paul's destiny specifically. Those are my thoughts on Villeneuve's Dune, and his psychological convincing in the audience. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day.